Congratulations, Stanbridge, on your new student government officials! Elections were held on May 18th, and the 8th grade and high school students seemed pretty excited. It was a close race with a lot of great candidates and some amazing speeches. A junior won the race for president, a sophomore won for vice president, a sophomore won for treasurer, and a freshman won for secretary. Here's Student Government Supervisor Travis with a more in-depth information on what student government does.
Next year's going to be an exciting year. We're going to be introducing a lot of new things, as well as continuing our fundraising for the mascot costume. Student government allows students to take a bigger role in what goes on at Stanbridge in their specific division, meaning high school. We also have junior high representatives that sort of bring the word from junior high and what's going on there. Very excited to see what happens next year. I'm looking forward to meeting with our new student government, sitting down and seeing what their new outlook on what should happen at Stanbridge.
We also interviewed some students and asked what they thought of the speeches.
They're pretty interesting. I think the speeches were great.
They were also good. I was sold by every one of them.
I'm excited. I'm the new secretary.
I'm pretty surprised that I'm treasurer now.
I'm excited to be the vice president, and I'm so glad that the people of Stanbridge chose me to take that role.
I am excited to be the new president of student government, and I'm looking for the next year and working with my fabulous team here.
Congratulations to the winners, and I'll see you next time on Stanbridge Student News.
On the 5th of May, to celebrate Cinco de Mayo, Spanish class students got to hit the piñata. It is the Mexican tradition to break open a piñata for a ceremony or celebration. 2 Spanish classes gathered in front of the basketball hoop while the piñata was hanging off from there. Everybody watched eagerly while the candy fell as Junior broke open the piñata. At the end, all of the spectators were given chocolates.
We broke 2 piñatas today because it is Cinco de Mayo, and I wanted to share with the students one of the aspects of celebrating that day. So we broke 2 piñatas and ate candy.
Well, I think it's pretty fun, like a pretty fun activity for even little kids to do, when they celebrate, have a great celebration one time.
I think it went well.
I thought it was really fun.
Happy belated Cinco de Mayo. I hope you have a smashing day, and I will see you on Stanbridge Student News.
Bullying can negatively affect one's life, but just because you disagree with someone in a conversation doesn't mean you're being bullied. I interviewed Mary Stadler about her thoughts on bullying and how it can be prevented.
We work hard here at school to try to make sure that bullying doesn't enter into our day too often, and sometimes it does, though. We've worked hard with the high school students, particularly did a whole unit last year on bullying in the social learning classes, and we talk about it a lot individually with students as we see where it might not be where conversations are happening that we don't think are very healthy. And we meaning the counselors, but also I think the teachers do a lot in terms of trying to keep kids on the right track around bullying. One of the things we've really worked hard here at school with is helping everyone understand what is bullying and what isn't bullying. Sometimes people come and say they think they're being bullied, and it turns out that they've really had a disagreement with someone, which is not comfortable or a happy occasion, but it isn't really that they're being bullied. It's just that someone actually is just disagreeing with them. So helping them understand what the difference is, and that good people disagree with each other all the time, even friends disagree, but that they can work it out, and that there's no lack of respect there. It's just that their ideas are in conflict.
This has been Stanbridge Student News, and I will see you next time.
On Friday, May 20th, Stanbridge has a concert called The Spring Sing. It included performances by the choir and the rock band to showcase the work they've put into performing during this past year.
Let it all out. These are the things I can do without. Come on.
interviewed David Hopper and some students about this event.
Well, I really like to give the students an opportunity to do more performing, and maybe a little more performing in a more formal setting. And plus, it's a fun way to close the year.
I really like performing the cup song along with Calvin on guitar and Tanya on the keys and Nick on the cups, and I like performing with the choir.
Getting the audience into it, that's always my favorite part. It's like, okay, this isn't just me going up there going sing, 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 yay! So I'm really getting people into it.
Good. It's really rewarding. I loved performing. It was really fun. I get like a rush when I do any kind of improv, really. I mean, it's not like a weird rush, just like a normal rush. And especially with this, because rumor has it, psychic anatomy is getting kind of popular. So, yeah, just that added factor to it. Just to see, everyone clapping along, everyone clapping. It's great. It's really great.
Oh, it feels amazing. I mean, music, I just have a really deep connection to it, and performing it's a rush of adrenaline.
Sounds awesome. See you next week on Stanbridge Student News.
On April 23rd, PE teacher Mark Kelly took some of the Stanbridge students to see a game of handball at a junior high school in Fremont. They have one of only 3 handball courts in the entire Bay Area. Mark did this because he wants to introduce it as a new sport next year.
It was really cool. I enjoyed it a lot.
I interviewed Mark to learn more about it.
Team handball is a sport that's very popular in a lot of the Europe countries, the Scandinavian countries. It's really growing over here in the U.S. and it's basically a combination of soccer, water polo, and basketball. Because it's such a new sport, our school and a few other schools in the BASSAL League, the Bay Area Small School Athletic League, went and we watched a bunch of ex-national players play team handball. So they could see what the game is all about on a real handball court, which is a lot larger than a basketball court. So it's a lot of fun for our kids and the other schools. We got to practice with them, and then we actually scrimmaged with them where they rotated our kids in, so our kids got a chance to get a flavor for the real game. And we're going to have it as a sport next year in the BASSAL League. And so this is kind of a way to have kids go and watch, play, and get excited about it and bring the sport back to our schools or whatever school they're at.
Sounds like handball is fun. See you next time on Stanbridge Student News.
On Thursday, May 19th, high school students attended the annual mock trial in the Maryland Center. This is made possible by Travis, and the trial is done by the senior civics class. Jay Houston assumed the role of judge, and Mark Kelly was the bailiff. Juniors acted as the jury, while seniors acted as the prosecution, the defense, and key witnesses. This time, the case was about whether Tony Rigoletti vandalized property or tried to stop others from throwing rocks. In the end, the jury agreed that Tony was guilty of vandalism. After the verdict, I interviewed Jay to get a better understanding on the mock trial.
I was Judge John J. Jingleheimer Jones. I ran the trial. I think the largest benefit is that they get a taste of what will happen in their adult life. Pretty much everyone gets called for jury duty at some point. And to see a mock trial allows them to see what their experience might be like during a jury service.
A couple of spectating students were also interviewed.
I thought it was interesting and I can't wait to do it in 2 years.
I love that all of the juries said guilty at the same time, and I thought it was a bad thing to have rocks thrown to the windows of the house.
I declare this article closed, and I will see you soon on Stanbridge Student News.